Welcome to our Waterton Red Rock picnic.
Yeah.
And we're
not eating any Red Rocks.
No. We have this that was given to us from the Salvation Army, and I thought it says Bombay mix Indian snacks, and I thought, oh, this is going to be like eating chips or something. No. I read the back and it says, I looked in it first and I'm like, this doesn't look like chips. And then I read the back and it said recipe, and for taste you can add chopped onion, tomato, and coriander. And well, I can't eat onion, so I didn't bring that, but I have chopped coriander and tomatoes here. So I'm going to do that. And then we have some of these wonderful everything seasoned cashews, and these treats that the Salvation Army, the library gave me these treats, and the Salvation Army gave us this protein drink. If James wants to have some, he's free to.
I'm not a big fan of protein.
Naan bread.
They used to give me those when I was nauseated.
You never liked it.
It wasn't cancer treatment, it was opioids.
But if this salad turns out to be then I have this dill pickle slaw, which is awesome. It's so yum.
So I want to make perfectly clear, the opioids were prescribed, and it's been probably 12 years.
Oh yeah, that's good to make clear.
But they're not recommended. If you're taking chemo, you're going to get nausea more off of the opioids if you're at all like me, than off the chemo.
Yeah.
The second time I took the chemo, same treatment, same level of it, so on and so forth, I had no nausea at all. But the first time I had considerable nausea. It wasn't really bad, but most of the time when I saw food, I was ready to launch. Just like Cape Canaveral on a good day. But, so opioids are not recommended, even if they're prescribed. They're definitely not recommended by me if they're not prescribed.
More people do this.
I can't understand. It's disgusing stuff. It just I was dizzy. Just my head was kind of swirling a little bit all the time.
But whatever. I mean, if you have pain and you don't know what to do. Maybe.
Well, the thing to do, back pain. I
guess I'll put this here for now.
I like pain. I don't like it, but I'm willing to put up with it. I don't like agony. There's a difference. Pain is telling you, don't go there any further. It's important. Pain is important. That's why we've got it. But agony, if you can't do anything about the pain, then you've got to take some painkillers.
Yeah.
My back pain is handleable. It's more of an annoyance.
I'm going to try mixing that stuff in now and see how that works out. And you can try it, and I'll give you a little bit. I might have to cut it with a knife because I forgot to bring my my scissors. I meant to, but anyway, we'll see how it goes.
It's one thing I don't think we have in the car. We've got lots of other things in the car.
So I'm going to mix the sauce in first, I think. So there's a few different, looks like different kinds of sauce. I don't know how this...
You want me to hold it while you're... No. She does a good job cutting that. Just
No, just talk about whatever.
Okay, we just finished a trail, part of the trail. We're starting doing our mountain training today. We're on something called Snowshoe Trail, which is it comes off the parking lot at Red Rock Canyon here.
Which choice?
All three!
You want all three?
No, I'm just kidding.
Which one?
Let's go with this in the right.
The green
side.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Green with red and green, whatever. There's someone from beautiful British Columbia running across another party from British Columbia, Kamloops in this case, and I was going, how come this guy come here? You've got scenery every direction. But sometimes it's good to get out of town.
Yep. Open that up a little much. It's okay.
Anyway, we went as far as the creeks would allow us. I've never seen the first creek on Snowshoe Trail running at all, much less running the way it was. I didn't want to, I'm kind of a little bit under the weather, and I don't want to exacerbate the case of this that I've got by getting my feet wet. It's not recommended.
And you want some of this stuff?
Yeah, that looks awesome. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It looks almost
Oh, maybe
living.
I'll do this. Yeah, that's easier.
Anyway, it's a very nice day. Waterton comes highly recommended, but just not to everyone. Like if you want to come down here and, you know, like just lounge around, I don't know. There are other places, you know, to take kids or whatever.
Yep.
There is a good pathway for kids here off of, yeah, that's awesome. Off of Red Rock Canyon.
You can
It's
mix
called
that up and
Blackiston
see what you
Falls.
think.
It's, I believe, a 10-meter net rise or fall. It's 1 kilometer either way. Kind of doing an advertisement for
Why not?
But yeah, don't bother bringing your camper out here or something like that. You know, don't bring your house out here. Get tired of almost getting run into by campers. I was going to say running into campers. And what else were we?
Well, you've been reading the Bible lately.
Oh yeah,
talk about
in
that.
Afrikaans. So yeah, I've been wanting to review it.
And there you go. Now you have the opportunity.
So we got a little bit of a chance. So it's important, I think, to read these religious documents in whole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably better to read them, well, if you could fit it all in one sitting. I don't know if I could do that with the Bible. It was 1,174 pages, like with
the
title
New
pages
Testament.
and stuff like that. You could maybe read the New Testament. It's actually recommended to read it in one sitting. You can actually see where there are, for example, in the account of the discovery of Jesus' tomb being empty, it is very hard to reconcile the 4 different accounts in the 4 different Gospels. You know, like who discovered him first? Was it Mary Magdalene? Was it this? Was it that? Now, I am telling you, I think there was such a person as Jesus. I think he was crucified. I think he was buried, probably in a cave or something like that, the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, a place I think kind of northwest of Jerusalem. And I think the tomb was open. I don't think it was by an angel. I think it was an aftershock after the tremor that was felt when Jesus was being crucified. The account says the curtain of the temple was ripped. I think it's from bottom to top or top to bottom when Jesus was being crucified, maybe around noontime. I think he was crucified on Friday. Now, in terms of when he was actually born and all that sort of stuff, I think around the time he was born, I'm not saying the same year, because they say when comets appeared and when eclipses appeared, sometimes the accounts are a little bit iffy in terms of the chronology. But Halley's Comet appeared 11 BC. I think that's actually when Jesus was born, not 0 BC. And that would have been the star that brought the wise men from the east. I think one of the accounts says from the east. Magi, whatever. I don't think it says. I mean, it could have been from Bethpage or something like that. I think that was near.
How do you rate this?
It's good.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Almost as good as the scenery. So thanks for making it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got a scooter. Taking a kid along. Oh well. Not much difference between that and taking a bike here.
This is one of the best salads I've ever had. So good. And with that much cilantro in it, it's got to be healthy.
When I was a kid in Calgary, I believe it was, they used to have a thought for the day. Maybe it was at the beginning and ending of a program on one of the channels on our TV. And we had 2 channels, I think, back then. And, you know, it was like the Bruce Springsteen song. 2 channels and nothing on. Now it's however many. I think the Bruce Springsteen song is 67 channels and nothing on.
Mm.
But I think what I'm going to be doing is offering a thought from the day.
Mm.
I'm going to be reading from the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And these thoughts for the day will be addressed to Karen Armstrong and anyone who's been at all influenced by her own taste. She's created her own religion, which is a little bit like, I think, the guy who created Baha'i religion should sue from the afterlife or something like that, because, he already did this, created his own religion. She's saying every religion, I presume, is something like, based on the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I was talking to a religious studies professor a while back. Nice guy, lovely guy. And I said to him, well, how many people did Jesus kill in his lifetime? Well, none. At least according to the accounts. I can't see the accounts being far off. And this doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who'd go around taking offense or pounding at people or whatever. And I said, how many people did Muhammad kill in a lifetime? He might not have known. Well, he didn't even bother discussing it. It's just, how many people did Moses kill of the people who worshiped the golden calf? I'm going, I was nice to him. I didn't say anything. I was shocked. That's a red herring. What religion did Moses create? Christianity, or, according to some people, Judaism? I don't think he created Judaism. He's given credit. I think someone like Moses existed, maybe a slightly different name. But it was probably something like Messe, Im Messe or something like that. The god Im is satisfied, or Elohim Messe. Well, that means offspring. Messe. That wouldn't apply. Offspring of God. I don't know. Anyway. I was thinking of Hotep. As in Baba Hotep. The most famous Egyptian figure. But some people say Moses created Judaism. Well, he laid down the law, shall we say. Is that a song by the B-52s or something like that? I don't think they're talking about Moses.
No, they were talking about Mesopotamia.
Probably Hammurabi. He's supposed to have been predecessor Moses.
Yeah. I think they said 6,000 or 8,000 years ago,
I know.
they laid down the law
Yeah.
in Mesopotamia.
It's like hearing a typical humanities major talking about stuff, just everything all screwed up. Oh, I don't have to memorize dates. That's just anal retentive. Anyway. Moses came significantly before Hammurabi. Wake up and smell the coffee. Moses would be about 1866 BC. And Hammurabi is dated a little bit too early. I'm going to say maybe 1650 BC, but 200 years is a significant time. If you don't think so, think about 200 years ago. Canada as a country didn't even officially exist. Wake up and smell the coffee again. I'm hungry, so sorry for chowing down, but that's not really a legitimate story.
No, this is
I'm not
amazing.
feeling sorry. Chowing down while I'm talking. We did put a hike in. Anyway.
This is maybe the best salad I've ever tried. It's so good.
So you're encouraged, particularly if you got this idea
It's spicy.
that every religion is all about peace, love, and flowers, to read the Old and New Testament, but particularly the Old Testament.
It's spicy. Got
And-
my nose running.
And instead of trying to find the continuities between the two, Christians try to find them. And of course, anyone who wants to criticize Christianity, like this professor, will too. There's a huge discontinuity between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yes, Jesus said, I came to fulfill the law, not to destroy it. But, I don't know.
Will you want the dill pickle salad too?
Not right now. I
Okay.
think we'll save that for the next picnic site down the road. This will be our picnicking.
Our picnicking day. You want to have a whole bunch of picnics? Yeah, the dill pickle salad's really good too. It tastes like dill pickle chips, only better. It's so good. So we're eating really well today. This is delicious. Where am I gonna? Oh, this one tomato got smushed. Can I give it to you?
Sure.
Okay. So what were you gonna? What else were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted you
Well,
so
there's
much.
a discontinuity. You know, like, I don't know, like, there's a discontinuity between Jesus and the Catholic Church. I don't know too many of the followers of Jesus, or Jesus himself, who went around whacking people because, you know, the worst he did, and I don't think it was that bad, he chucked the money changers out of the temple.
No,
Yeah.
that was maybe a good thing.
I mean, he threw over their tables. Oh, that's awful. That's as bad as having 3,000 people whacked because they worship the golden calf. So, yeah,
Okay.
you know, Jesus
we're
was the
good.
kind of guy who made a point of telling, I think it's a couple of his disciples, not just one, to bring a sword to when he figured he was going to be betrayed. Then when one of them draws a sword and whacks off the ear of the servant of the high priest or whatever he was, Jesus says to the guy, put up thy sword. And then according to the account, I don't believe that, the account, this part of the account, he healed the guy's ear, I think. Put the ear back on. And then that's all meant to fit in, from what I can tell, with the account of when
Have
he,
some of this then.
you know, just a few hours later, he's
want-
hailed in front of Pontius Pilate.
Some bread?
Yeah, please.
It's actually nice because now in the sun it's warmed up a bit, so it's like we've warmed it up.
Yeah.
It's great.
So Pontius Pilate is a Roman functionary, the top Roman functionary in that area. He says to Jesus something like, are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus says, I don't know if it's to that exact question. My kingdom is not of this earth. Don't you think that if it was, I could have a bunch of angels come down and beat whomever up and save me? So that's all meant to be read in sequence with him telling the guys to bring a sword or two to where he figures is going to be betrayed, and then telling the guy, I think it's Peter, Simon Peter, put up your sword, and then healing the ear. Whether or not that happened, that's the way the account goes, and that's what we got to live with. And I can live with that. I can live with a dude like that who's creating a religion. I can live with a dude like that, because he ain't going to go out of his way to kill me. I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't live with a guy like Moses. He was incredible. Whacking a bunch of people because they were worshiping a golden calf. Joshua, Moses' successor,
Yeah,
was, I
but
think, even worse. What were you going to say?
given Moses' life, I mean, that's not great, right?
That's not what?
I mean, he was a prince,
Presumably,
but
according to the
he
count, an
was
Egyptian prince.
adopted and...
Well, they say guys raised without a father figure are, nowadays, tend to be much more violent.
I mean, people might think, oh, well, he was a prince, he must have had a great life, but I don't think that's the case.
No, he'd be a lesser prince. Now, So this was in the Old Kingdom. Egypt was fabulously wealthy. So the Pharaoh probably had all sorts of wives and secondary wives. There'd be princes crawling all over the place. The context is important. I'll try some. Yeah. Anyway, context is important because according to context, they'd been brutally enslaved in Egypt and treated brutally as slaves. And I'm sorry to have to say this, that something like the 10 plagues of Egypt happened. It was a horrible time for the whole freaking world. And Moses maybe made a mistake taking them all out into what already was a desert. The Hebrews, Israelites, whatever you want to or don't want to call them, they were living on the edge. And it was a brutal time. The accounts from the end of the Old Kingdom, and yes, that's when the Exodus happened, the end of the Old Kingdom. The account said there was a famine in Egypt, like people were eating their own children. It was a tough time around the whole world.
I don't know about this one.
Bad?
What do you think?
I don't mind it. I'll drink all of it if you don't want any more.
It doesn't matter. If you like it, you can drink all. Do you like it? Okay.
Recently,
Enjoy.
it's a surprise with
I
a
don't
protein
like
drink.
it.
I associate protein drinks with nausea.
Well, it's munchies flavored, so
I'm getting the munchies from them.
it has pictures of cookies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's butter or caramel and pretzels.
Okay.
I think chocolate chip cookies, caramel, and pretzels. But and maybe it kind of tastes like that. Actually, kind of like
it tastes kind of sweet. A lot better than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Will you want some of this too?
Oh.
Yeah, they're so good.
I've been trying to kind of keep my eyes
Everything
off of them
cashews
on the
so
camera.
good. Do you want me to just stick some on your plate?
That's probably the best thing. Yep. Oh, that's the plate. I thought you were going to get in the plate. That's good. That's better.
That's what you want?
I didn't want to get them soggy. Soggy cashews fun. Not the best. Anyway, tough time. Now, so what I'm going to be doing is thought for the day from the Old Testament. We'll be looking at Joshua. Joshua is amazing. He's going to say, God is telling me, you whack everyone here in the promised land. It's not their promised land. Wow. Today's terms, that's just genocide. And then, they let the Gibeonites go. People from Gibeon. And, but they have to become slaves. Anytime they don't wipe people out, then the account says, we turned them into slaves. Okay. That's slavery.
Yeah, but the whole slavery thing, yes, bad. But given the context of the time period, that's the way it was.
It happened, but we're supposed to be cheering for the Jews because they're coming out of slavery. And it does say in the Bible, here's the thing.
Point.
Here's the thing. It says, in the Old Testament, or Jewish scriptures, better way to refer to it.
Yeah.
It says, although, I'm not going to get politically or theologically correct about it, like a Jewish person has too. I don't know too much about that. But,
right now, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, kind of lost my train of thought. These Ferrero
I'm so sorry. It was about the slavery. They were enslaving some people.
The Bible says, take care of widows and orphans. It reminds me of something written
Yeah, I know.
600 AD or so. Or compiled maybe well after that. And it says, take care of strangers, in other words, foreigners or whatever, because you too were foreigners in Egypt. I'm going, yeah, but You're turning people into slaves in their own native land. So the message will be, and it's going to be hammered at you folks, is the Old Testament is not about peace, love, and flowers. And Karen Armstrong, notwithstanding, and all the huge reception she's got for her various books and all that sort of stuff, most religions are not about peace, love, and flowers. Christianity and Moism in China, maybe, and at least Christianity in its origins. Are we through?
No, you're still going.
Okay. You know, Catholic Christianity is not very much about peace, love, and flowers, so yeah. Buddhism, I don't know if it's about love, it's about indifference, indifference to love and hate. I don't know. And that might be better than love, I don't know. I'm not that down on Buddhism. Hinduism, not about peace, love, and flowers. Confucianism is, Hinduism is about it's about a class system. It's not just caste, it's not just the four basic castes and an outcast. It's about subcastes. Very rigid caste system, or class system, not just caste system. Islam is not about peace, love, and flowers in any way, shape, or form. It's basically a continuation of the Old Testament. Pretty well any place where Islam or Muhammad had this choice between Judaism and Christianity.
I have to say that garbage can was clean. Way cleaner than my wet wipes wrapper.
The solution offered by Judaism. And the important thing about him is he's the seal of the prophets, according to the theory. Judaism is very different now than it was in the time of Moses. Mm-hmm. The Jews are the most civilized people in the world. I've been talking about civilization. They've apparently got that nation, you want to call it, or if you don't want to call it, has, from what I've heard, the highest average IQ of any in the world. And why is that? I know a guy, South Asian extraction, so don't try to pull the racism thing on me, and don't pull the capitalist thing on me, because this guy was communist in the 80s. And what he said was IQ is probably more basically just the indicator of how long a person's ancestors have had writing in their tradition. How long their ancestors have had writing. Jews have had it a long time. Now Egyptians have had it a longer time. A certain religion intervened. There are things that kind of break that down. Same sort of thing with folks in Mesopotamia, but a certain religion intervened. Same sort of thing with the people in